Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gamansing. The Joint Board of Elections met Friday on St. Croix for a special meeting. They were scheduled to go into executive session to discuss legal and personnel matters. But the meeting took a strange turn after a presentation from the government's ADA compliance officer. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
The meeting of the Joint Board of Elections turned into a circus Friday after one motion to go into executive session and then another motion to adjourn both failed. Members of the public even started arguing with the board. The confusion started after member Adelbert Bryan questioned Joint Board Chair Alicia Wells' sole decision to set the agenda for Friday's special meeting, which was to go into executive session to discuss personnel and legal matters, especially considering Deputy Supervisor Mabel Madura's resignation effective March 14th. Right before things got heated, special allowance was made to have the VI's ADA compliance officer speak to the group. While she had good news for the St. Thomas office, St. Croix is now a concern. The election system has been waiting for the St. Thomas office to be declared ADA compliant so they can get access to federal funds to buy new voting machines. The VI's ADA coordinator, Stephanie Barnes, told the Joint Board they are compliant to the 2008 standards.
It is a clearance letter that will allow you to get your funds back in your coffers to buy your machines, and I am certain that we will have that happen in the very near future.
But it doesn't end there. The ADA standards changed in 2010, and in order to be ADA compliant, the entire VI government has until June 5th this year to make changes.
When you get your clearance letter, please don't think that you are in compliance with the ADA Act. This letter will let you know that in 2013, we have 121 days to comply with the ADA Act, and we must do self-evaluations and transition plans for the entire government. I must say on behalf of people with disabilities in the territory that the constituents who use mobility devices will not be able to get into this room. I suggest further that you stop having board meetings in here.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Full-time federal technicians with the VI National Guard may soon have unpaid time off. The National Guard gave initial notice to those workers Thursday of a possible furlough. If Congress fails to end the automatic budget cuts known as sequestration, the furlough would begin April 26th and continue through September 20th. The affected employees would be placed in a non-pay, non-duty status for 8 hours each work week for a total of 176 hours. On Wednesday, News 2 brought you the story about the Bordeaux pond drying up and the Department of Agriculture's efforts to help. That initiative is just one of many ongoing in the area. News 2's Erica Bivens explained how the department is tackling what they say is their biggest initiative.
The biggest initiative we have in agriculture is infrastructure development and improvement. But within that initiative, water is the key issue.
Agriculture Commissioner Louis Peterson says the department is undertaking several initiatives in the Bordeaux area to help farmers get access to water. Besides taking advantage of natural springs and building a few man-made ponds of their own, the department has also set up 2 standpipes.
What we have uphill from here is a naturally occurring spring. And we have excavated a pond below the spring that holds about 17,000 gallons of water. When that reservoir is filled, the water comes downhill through a pipeline and fills these tanks which are behind of us. 8,000 gallons total in capacity.
The second standpipe is this tank.
The department attempts to have it filled once per week. It holds about 5,000 gallons in capacity, and we come on Tuesdays and we fill this standpipe.
It's not only convenient for the Bordeaux farmers in terms of not having to drive to town for water, it's also free.
And that's why most of the effort that we expend, the resources that we spend, are in the way of trying to improve water resources for farmers.
One of their largest projects was the farmers market, providing the necessary infrastructure plus a 60,000-gallon cistern.
It does support the market because it has wash basins. By the way, it's the only market that has wash basins. It's our most modern market. But it also supports farmers in terms of production because the water in this system can be gravity fed downhill to the farmer.
But their work isn't finished. Another phase is scheduled for the market. Plus, they're planning on installing a pump at this site 50 feet above sea level to gravity feed water to the farmers there. And even then, the work will continue.
No one step is going to address all the needs, and we are taking many such steps in order to address this great demand for water.
For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
Next week is National Agriculture Week. We'll have details on events you can look forward to. The University of the Virgin Islands celebrated its 51st anniversary Friday morning, holding the annual Charter Day celebration on both campuses and featuring 4 alumni, 2 on each campus, who shared their UVI experiences. News2's Janisha John brings us more from the St. Croix Charter Day ceremony.
The University of the Virgin Islands is celebrating its 51st birthday, and in honor, both campuses held their annual Charter Day celebration to discuss the university's journey to greatness.
We're doing the 51st UVI Charter Day celebration, so we're celebrating UVI's birthday today. And our theme this year is our journey to greatness. So we invited 4 panelists.
The program featured a panel discussion from 4 UVI alumni, Quincy Quinlan and Kwesi Howard from St. Thomas, and Kurt Vielle and Amy Sanchez from St. Croix, who spoke on their experiences during UVI and their success stories after.
For this time of the year, we wanted to highlight success, like what made our students great, and talk about their experience while they were here, talk about how their experience, their preparation at UVI helped them with their current job, and what they envision for UVI in the next 50 years or so.
Panelists shared ideas on the future they see for UVI, expressing to students and faculty how the university's quality of education has helped their careers and hopes will do even more for them.
Student-wise, students would see, like, if they could do it, then the current students can do it, and see how the quality of education here is not as bad as people might think. It's really great being a student at UVI. As faculty and staff, we would be enjoying the fruits of our success.
Following the panel discussion, the festivities continued with presentations and entertainment by the UVI Voices of Inspiration Choir, overall celebrating UVI's Charter Day in a memorable way.
Well, it's great. Like any other birthday celebration, it's happy birthday UVI.
Janisha John, News 2.
Now, the Charter Day ceremony was held simultaneously on St. Thomas via video conference and was preceded by the 12th annual Queen Mary 5K walk and run. Well, turn our attention to the U.S. The U.S. is responding to threats from North Korea, announcing that it's adding new missile interceptors in Alaska. Edward Lawrence reports from Los Angeles.
3, 2, 1.
The U.S. is beefing up its missile defense system after recent threats from North Korea. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel said Friday the U.S. will add 14 missile interceptors to its defense system in Alaska by 2017.
The reason that we're doing what we're doing, and the reason we're advancing our program here for Homeland Security, is to not take any chances, is to stay ahead of the threat.
North Korea threatened to launch a nuclear attack on the U.S. after new United Nations sanctions. White House officials have said they doubt North Korea has nuclear weapons capable of hitting the U.S., but they don't downplay the possible threat.
North Korea in particular has recently made advances in its capabilities and is engaged in a series of irresponsible and reckless provocations.
The defense system can shoot down long-range missiles before they hit U.S. land. It was established in 2004. There are already 30 interceptors in place in California and Alaska. Hagel also said the U.S. will add another radar in Japan and will conduct environmental studies to determine where more missile interceptors could be added in the U.S. Edward Lawrence for CBS News, Los Angeles.
And keeping our eye on the economy, signs of a continuing economic recovery propelled the Dow to another record high. The blue chips ended 83 points higher on Thursday. It was the 10th consecutive day of gains by the Dow. Well, a survey of the 50th highest rated CEO is out. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg ranked first with 99% approval ratings from his employees. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. The Dow, NASDAQ, S&P all down. Dow 25, NASDAQ 9, S&P 2. Coming up on News 2, educational sailing trips aboard the Roseway concluded yesterday for some students. Efforts are underway to expose more students to the marine industry. Plus, step by step, a scheduled march aims to get the message of peace out, even if it takes a million steps. We'll be right back. Well, more problems emerged for Miami-based Carnival Cruise Lines after another one of the ships developed engine problems mid-cruise. The Carnival Dream, which was on the return leg of a 7-day excursion, was was in St. Martin after a backup diesel generator malfunctioned, causing elevator service to go out and toilets to back up. About 5,000 passengers aboard the Carnival Dream now heading home after being stuck in St. Martin. Here's what one passenger had to say about that incident.
We lost service with our toilets for a while, and they announced that we're cutting off service to the elevators and to the toilets for 5 to 10 minutes. The toilet problem lingered a little bit through the night, but we had no backups to speak of. They did say, and from talking to people on the ship, there was one community bathroom that had a backup. Their personnel moved in, got it cleaned up.
Dinner, a live and silent auction, and a celebrity performer. Lots of surprises in store at this year's Antilles School Spring Gala and Auction. The annual event draws many who take advantage of participating in the auction for big ticket items like jewelry, travel packages, boat excursions, gourmet dinners, spa packages, and other services. Now, proceeds benefit the school. The event begins at 6 p.m. Saturday at the Mark C. Marine Center at the school. You can call 777-1600, extension 1800 for more information. Well, a t-shirt, water, prayer, and an overall message. Over 1,000 expected, and transportation to and from your point of origin. Step by step, organizers of the Million Steps for Peace, the Jason Carroll Foundation, and Mothers Against Guns are hoping to send a message, and you are invited to join in.
We had so many families that has had devastation in their family, loss of loved ones. We have families who were lost their jobs. There's so much going on in our community at this time. A lot of people are grieving, and we just want to bring the message of peace and hope to our community. So we're asking everyone to join in with us, and let's take this walk for the peace of God in our lives and in our community.
I know this is not the first time you've put on a march of this caliber. Tell me a little about the work behind it. Do you get volunteers easily raising their hands?
Well, we got plenty of volunteers. The rescue crew will also be with us along the way, as well as the Virgin Islands Police Department. We're going to have a prayer. We'll also have people signing the peace wall and also signing the Pledge for Peace. We want everybody to be at Fort Christian, if they wish to start at Fort Christian, at 4:30 in the morning, and we're going to leave at 5 o'clock in the morning. Our stations will be Antilles School, the Nada Bridge, or the Bridge to Nowhere as it's known, the Lindquist Beach, the Fort Milner parking area, and Roosevelt Park, and we're going to end at the University of the Virgin Islands. At University of the Virgin Islands, around 1:30 to 2 p.m.
This is going to be a great event, and all of us coming together as one in this community. So everyone said they want peace, and here it is. Let's come together and ask the Lord to give us His peace.
Now, you must register before the walk or relay teams. You can simply log on to www.vimothersagainstguns.org to print out that form. Well, some lucky students left the classroom and headed out to sea in search of a lesson in the marine industry. 5 educational sailing trips organized by Senator Malone concluded yesterday with a group of environmental studies students from Adelita Cancran Junior High. Students from BCB Junior High School and Ivana Udorcan High School also took part in the program this year, run by the World Ocean School aboard the Roseway. An antique schooner now utilized as a floating classroom. Senator Malone, who has organized the sailing trips for the past 3 years, raised the money to sponsor the student excursions. He expressed sincere thanks to donors, Subbase, Dry Dock, and the Virgin Islands Marine Action Group, as well as Yacht Haven Grand for donating docking facilities throughout the week. You can learn more about the Roseway's Learn at Sea programs by visiting www.worldoceanschool.org. The VI Association of Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America will hold their Miss VI FCCLA Queen of Queen pageant this Sunday. The 3 delegates stopped by our studios today to explain the details.
This pageant is basically about 3 delegates, and we sold votes for our schools, and now we have to compete against each other in a pageant.
You can get the tickets from Bertha C. Shelter Middle School, and Ivana Idorican High School, Charlotte Amali High School, and Adelita Cancran Junior High School from the office and administrators.
It is March 17, 2013 at 3:30 p.m. at the Ruth E. Thomas Auditorium.
Also coming up this weekend on Saturday, the streets and boardwalk of Christiansted will be filled with green-covered partygoers for the 4th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. The parade begins at 11 a.m. and in addition to the many local floats, the St. Croix Majorettes, Gentlemen of Jones, and the Rain Riders.
Trying to raise funds this year, also to have the parade next year, and also to support World Ocean Schools, which, as everyone knows of, the Roseway. And we're waiting for everyone to come down and have a good time and wear some green and buy lots of stuff from the committee so we can raise some money for a good cause.
Looks like a lot of fun. Let's see what the weather's going to be like as we head into the weekend. Stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.